This is absolutely real. Trump, Putin, all the world leaders are going to be rushing into cryptocurrency. In today's video, I'm going to break down how the game has absolutely changed. From 2020 to 2023, yeah, you could have done good with meme coins. You could have played games with your money and gambled in the casino. But the game has absolutely changed. Number one, listen to me very closely. It is going to be implemented into your traditional financial system. That's it. It's done. Okay. They're currently right now hoping to get the Clarity Act to Trump's desk and signed by 2026 and some progress by Thanksgiving. I'll show you that video tomorrow. Okay. The Genius Act is passed. I'm going to take you a lot deeper in what's actually happening here. And I'm going to give you a stark warning to not play games with your money. Let me say it one more time. I've been warning people since 2020 about this. Do not play games with your money. Get out of the get rich casino, get out of the meme coin casino, get out of the hype train, put on a long-term vision, and understand that if you play your cards right, and as Raoul Paul says, and you don't F this up, over the next 5 years, you could radically transform your family's life. So first, I'm going to show you how you shouldn't play games. First, they resist it, then they sue it, then they regulate it, then they join it. A ton of cryptos are going to get crushed. I know your favorite influencer wants to sell you the next best token coming through, but I'll tell you what, only the strong are going to survive this. They better have large capital backing. They better have deep pockets to be able to manage through regulation. I came from the banking system, guys. Do you know how much money it takes to keep up with regulation? Do you know how much money it takes when there's a regulatory change to notify customers, to change the infrastructure? The big whales are going to survive this. Coinbase will survive this. They're already deep in it. Ripple will survive this. They're deep in it. Kraken will survive this. I'll put a couple more out there that I believe. You got crypto.com will survive this. We got Uphold. I believe they're a great exchange that will survive this. I think Binance will end up being here. But you got to use discernment, guys. That's why I don't play games. That's why I tell you my top 7 cryptos. I'm going to be consolidating into my top 3, which would be XRP, Bitcoin, and Solana. I'm not playing games. So I'm going to first show you the warning, okay? Then we're going to dive and we're going to keep revisiting things because the reason why I'm going to share with you, my channel is not for you if you don't like repetitive patterns, okay? Why I repeat the same things is to help it become an unconscious activity. So when you see these markets drop and these flash crashes, you don't emotionally react. You ride the wave down and you lower your dollar cost average by buying more. And when these markets go crazy, you're calm and stoic and exiting and pulling profits on the way up. Okay, don't be a rubbernecker like Johnny Crypto says. Don't watch it go up. Don't watch it go down. Let's build an ecosystem. Let's build safety. Let's build protection. And let's build peace and freedom. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a big warning. You're going to see a lot more of this as regulation comes in. Okay, so this is Caden, K-A-D-N-A, public announcement. We regret to announce that Caden Organization is no longer able to continue business and operations and will be ceasing all business activities and active maintenance of the Caden blockchain immediately. We are tremendously grateful to everybody who has participated in this journey with us. We regret that because of market conditions, we are unable to continue to promote and support the adoption of this unique decentralized offering. Okay, you are going to see a lot more of this, guys. With regulation coming in and these exchanges getting liquidated, these big flash crashes and this up and down, this sideways action, and the whole market changing because big whales are playing in the game now. You better build a fundamental portfolio. You better build a long-term mindset, and you better be able to ride the waves and pull yourself to a 30,000-foot overview. This journey is going to be amazing, but it's going to be bumpy. Okay, so let's get into the narrative here. So I want to take you back to when Russia invaded Ukraine. Okay, you have to understand this at a microeconomic level, geopolitical level. Okay, when they tell us to look this way, there's another narrative going on this way. And if you're in the Warrior Academy, today, Thursday, I'm going to give you a much deeper perspective. I go a lot deeper inside my academy because there's, certain things. I go deeper in the academy. Let's put it that way. I'm going to show you some deep connections that I think are happening. But I want you to understand, guys, this is a global change. This isn't something that's happening, that there's conversations behind the scenes. This is a global monetary change, hence World Liberty Financial. It is a worldwide bank. Stable coin regulation. Trump saved the dollar through the Genius Act. You got to understand the game. Okay. They're giving you hint after hint. But what's happening here is, remember, Biden, as soon as Russia invaded Ukraine, he took them off the SWIFT system. That was a signal to you that you need to start looking at how this game is going to change. Okay. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa started de-dollarizing in 2009 when they created BRICS, and all of a sudden Bitcoin's created. And then you got Tucker Carlson putting out yesterday that he believes the CIA created it. Guys, if you've been following my channel, I've been giving you deep, deep insight on what I think is happening here. BRICS was created in 2009. Bitcoin was created in 2009. And now Bitcoin is the savior for the American monetary system. Bitcoin is the savior for the global monetary system. Bitcoin is now a strategic reserve in America. Bitcoin is a store of value, a digital store of value, as we're going into a whole new, we're moving from industrial earth paradigm to air, to quantum, to connectivity. Guys, this is all happening. It's a big economic shift. Okay. They're all acting like they're battling back. They are rewiring the system behind the scenes, guys. So remember, Biden took them off the SWIFT system. They're like, screw you then. We're going to go decentralized. We're going to go our own route. They're all getting into crypto. And the reason why I'm being so intense with this is because you got to ride this wave. You got to understand it's going to be bumpy. All your expectations, you need to remove them. All these price predictions, you need to remove them. If it hits them, fantastic. Build an exit plan on the way up. If it doesn't, I keep accumulating. This is why you're getting frustrated. This is why you're getting wrecked, because you're hitting the hopium, the dopium, baby. You're sitting there like, oh, this influencer said it was going to be at this date and it's going to be at this price, and you're waiting and you're waiting, and we're building empires. You have to build an empire along the way. Okay, it will get to where we believe it's going to get to. The date is irrelevant. Your preparation is the key. Okay. So so we go back to them taking them off the SWIFT system, right? They're like, okay, screw you guys. So everybody in the world is going decentralized. They're like, we don't need to run through a centralized part anymore. That's the game now. That's why they're rushing to get the Clarity Act set. America wants to be the leader in cryptocurrency and decentralization, TradFi and DeFi coming together. So just in, Russian Ministry of Finance and the central bank have agreed to legalize payments in crypto for foreign trade. Okay. I'm not going to play this again, but remember I played this for you guys where Russia slams the US stablecoin push. He said that America is going to suck the debt into cryptocurrency. He said he was going to suck it into stablecoins. They're going to, they're going to right size the balance sheet and grow our way out of the economy. So we went from, Russia bashing us for our cryptocurrency to them using cryptocurrency for foreign trade. But here's what's actually happening now. Okay. This is the Federal Reserve Governor, Christopher Waller, claims crypto assets are increasingly woven into the fabric of the payment system. So as we're sitting here during a government shutdown, there's a bunch of stuff happening in Washington where they are working to get the Clarity Act at least bipartisan. I'll put this on the channel tomorrow. Coinbase CEO said that they should have some progress by Thanksgiving. Okay. And then I think it's going to go into 2026. This is why you got to just relax, chill out, relax, breathe. Okay. But we're going to go deeper into what's actually happening behind the scenes. Your banks are going to be custodying your crypto or working to custody your crypto. By 2030, they'll all be integrated.
This is an acknowledgement that distributed ledgers and crypto assets are no longer on the fringes, but are increasingly woven into the fabric of the payment and financial system. Now, before we hear from these innovators, I would like to touch on roles that the Federal Reserve plays to support the private sector. These include serving as a convener to solve coordination problems and operating core payment and settlement infrastructure. We are also looking ahead, conducting hands-on research on tokenization, using smart contracts, and the intersection of AI and payments for use in our own payment systems. We do this to understand the innovation happening within the payment system, as well as to evaluate whether these technologies could provide opportunities to upgrade our own payment infrastructures and to enable us to have deeper conversations with the industry on these new technologies.
Okay, so your system is rewiring. Your biggest goal, I don't care what you invest in. You have two goals. Number one is to beat inflation. Okay. Number one is to beat inflation. Okay. They run a 2 to 3% inflation every year. At 2 to 3% inflation, your money gets cut in half the value every 35 years. So if you're trying to prepare for retirement, your value of your currency, your purchasing power got cut in half. So if your asset is growing 4%, you're not even beating inflation. You think you're getting ahead. It's an illusion. So number one is to beat inflation. I use deflationary assets like Bitcoin, Xrparmy. Number two is to pick winners that will survive regulation. That's why I showed you that warning. You're going to see a lot of blockchains going under. I know your favorite influencer wants to sell you the next hot crypto. You better make sure that it's going to be here. I don't know how you're going to verify that, but I do the white paper. We look at, that's why I'm so bullish on Ripple and XRP, guys. If I was a betting man, I'm betting on Ripple and XRP doing very, very well. I'm betting on Bitcoin doing very well. I'm betting on Solana doing very well. And I'm pretty comfortable with that, right? And I'm putting my money where my mouth is in that. But I used to have a ton of cryptos and I'm consolidating down and consolidating down and consolidating down. I'm not going to play games with my money. Okay. So just in, Federal Reserve is studying new payment account model that would give fintech and crypto firms limited access to the Fed payment rails without full banking privileges. Guys, what Trump is going to do, Jerome Powell is either going to leave or he's going to obviously move on next year. Trump is going to bring the Federal Reserve, in my opinion, underneath the government. He's going to bring people from Washington and his cabinet into the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is going to lower interest rates like crazy. The economy is going to boom like you've never seen it before. But what goes up? Boom! Must come down. Remember this video. What goes up must come down, and it's going to come down hard on your ass, and there's going to be massive inflation. You can't just print money in a low interest rate environment. There has to be a winner and a loser. Money just moves from one form of energy to another. There is no real money. It's all debt, guys. So that's why they're all going into Bitcoin. That's why gold's at an all-time high. That's why silver's at an all-time high. It's an economic cycle. That's all it is. Study Ray Dalio's change. It's just an economic cycle. That's why Bitcoin is becoming so attractive. It has a fixed supply. That's why XRP to me is so attractive. It has a fixed supply. Nobody can print it. Okay. Just in 6 trillion, Fidelity says Bitcoin and crypto are becoming central in their conversation with clients. 3 years ago, they said, no conversations. That's what Larry Fink said. And now it's central. Fidelity, guys. Fidelity is the largest holders of 401ks. Trump has now made it legal for 401k to put Bitcoin into the allocation. And I cannot wait. I own an insurance brokerage. I cannot wait to be able to help my clients index insurance into Bitcoin and things like XRP, whatever, and Ethereum, these ETFs. It will be the last to come. I know that insurance is very slow and clunky. It takes forever. It is the foundation of the whole financial system. But do you realize what that would do if I can insure my money and then index the cash value or index cash value into things like Bitcoin, XRP ETFs? I'm like, oh my God. Remember this video, man. Remember, when that comes, I'm going to be shouting from the mountaintops. Just in, Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller says, I have always argued that Bitcoin was going to end up being something like electronic gold. It's a store of value. And ever since I got bullish on it, I felt the same way. All right, so let's dive right in, guys. I encourage you to go down and, markets are looking pretty juicy. They're coming up here. Okay, so this is Merlin, smartest way to track your crypto. I am the co-founder and creator of this. 38,000 lines of code. We built this from the ground up. We built this, number one, to keep you safe. It shows all your assets in one place. It's an organizer. Okay, it pulls all your exchanges and all your assets into an interface. We do not hold your keys. We do not hold your crypto. Nobody has access to your crypto on here. It's an interface. Okay, you pull all your exchanges into one place. You can see it in a snapshot when I just got back from traveling. I never look at my exchanges on foreign Wi-Fi. So I always use Merlin. So that's the number one thing. Okay. Number two is that you can set up profit taking plans. We're not rubberneckers. We take profit. Okay. Now, many of you are in different phases of your profit taking. You might be holding till 2030. Fantastic. Or the next bull run. You might be like us who've been holding for a while. We're going to take some profit on the way up. We help you build out an exit plan. We teach you how to take a profit taking plan. It's organized. I do 50-50 plans. This is an example. This is our demo account. You can build a structure with your plans, tells you exactly how many tokens to exit, tells your estimated taxes based on what your tax professional says your estimated taxes are. You pop that in there in your profile and you're like, well, how do I do this? Boom, we got you. Look at all the different exchanges. You can connect all these different exchanges, guys. Merlin is the smartest way to track your crypto. It's one of our fastest growing companies. Absolutely amazing, guys. We made one of the greatest companies ever created. Smartest way to track your crypto. Keeps your crypto safe. Nobody can access it. There's no access to it. It's just an interface. If you're traveling, use Merlin. We help you understand how to set up exit targets. Right, you have to decide on your own, but we teach you how to do it. We educate you. We're financial educators. And if you need support, we got live customer service. So go down to the description of my video right now. Click it. You can do 30 days for free. Try it before you buy it. And my social media platform, if you're watching this on social, click the link and go down, get 30 days for free. Try it before you buy it. This is my product, my company. I'm very proud of Merlin, smartest way to track crypto. Let's dive in. Okay. So if you're new to my channel, I repeat the same thing and I tell you exactly what I'm doing. I always say you should be leery of the man or woman who changes their narrative every single week. And wise counsel comes from those who you can measure their success by repetitive patterns. Okay. Because all this is, guys, is discipline and consistency done for a long enough period of time to access a new paradigm. It's A times E equals R. If you don't have a result, you either have the wrong activity or you're not effective at it, or you don't have the activity. So if I don't have results, I look to see if the activity is there. If the activity is there, I look at the effectiveness if I don't have results. If it's not effective, I become more effective. I just tweak it a little bit. Often it's not the right activity, and then I change the activity, the people, places, things, environments. Right? So I've been doing the same things over and over, and it works. I created what's called capital DR. You can just go back to 2020 and just watch the evolution of me going from losing everything to getting pissed off, saying that will never happen again, to creating capital DR. Cash flow, cash is trash. Okay. Cash flow is C. I create cash flow through cash generating businesses, cash generating dividends. I'm becoming obsessed with dividends. I think it's the greatest way to create passive income. Okay. Don't believe all this bullshit. You need 7 sources of income and all this stuff. You need to be really good at one thing, and go all in on that. I got really good at business. Okay. And I scaled businesses. And then once I got really good at businesses, and it took me a long time, guys, I've been at this since 2017, nonstop. Okay. Now, one of the greatest paths to success is invest in someone else's business, a dividend. Okay. Think about that. Warren Buffett gets $1 million a day off Coca-Cola. So I started getting really succinct and educated around dividend stocks. So I got into dividend stocks and I'm crushing it on dividend stocks. So capital DR, remember, just remember this word, write this down. De-risk. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. Okay. I don't play games with my money. So I have cash flow coming in from businesses. I have cash flow coming in from dividends every month. I take that cash flow, and then A is appreciating assets with fixed supply. My goal is to beat inflation. Okay. I use things like XRP and Bitcoin. XRP has a fixed supply of 100 billion. It's built into its utility to be deflationary. It gets more valuable every time a transaction runs across it. It needs to be very expensive per token in order for the transaction to be cheap. Pretty simple. Done a lot of studying, came from banking to understand it. So I only invest in what I understand. Bitcoin, fixed supply, 21 million, only 5% left, 8 billion people in the world, one of the most scarce assets in the world. And I just follow what the billionaires are doing. They're moving their money into Bitcoin. Okay. So boom, that's my number 2. Solana. I'm a big Solana fan. I moved all my Ethereum into Solana. You shouldn't do that. I did that because I was in a documentary called Xrp Unleashed Rigged from the start. And I made a personal biased decision to move all my Ethereum into Solana. You shouldn't do that. I will lose probably one of the greatest financial losses I'll have in regards to closing out of Ethereum and all my Solana. I'll take a loss on it. Totally comfortable with it because I do things based on how I feel about it in my soul. And it didn't feel good to me after being in the documentary. There we go. Ethereum's a great investment. It's going to do very, very well. It's deep inside the banking system. Go watch the documentary Xrp Unleashed Rigged from the start. You'll understand why I made that decision. But my point behind that, you should never make your decisions based on someone's personal bias. That is stupid. Sorry, it's stupid. Okay, so I go into those appreciating assets. My top 7 are XRP, Bitcoin, Solana, XLM, WFI now, HBAR, and VeChain. Those are my top 7. I have many others. I'm going to be consolidating into the top 3, which will be XRP, Bitcoin, and Solana. Very simple. See how it's simple? There's no, those will survive, guaranteed to survive. Okay. So I'm safe with that. Not playing games with money. Now, here's what happens. Here's the differentiator between me and other people. They're like, hold, don't ever sell, borrow, leverage. And it's like, well, what happened on the flash crash? People got wrecked. $19 billion wrecked. $19 billion wrecked. And they're going to keep wrecking you. Okay. So what we do is Bitcoin is going to move to leverage, capital DR, C, cash flow, appreciating assets, protection. We're going to go into that next. And then leverage. We're going to move Bitcoin into leverage. We're never touching Bitcoin, most scarce asset in the world. I use it as supercharged savings. I'm not going to get my biggest bang for my buck with Bitcoin, but I'd rather store my American US fiat dollar in something that grows 50% every year. I haven't found any savings account where I can get 50% every year. So I store my US dollar in Bitcoin. Pretty simple. Okay. So all other cryptos, which are altcoins, all other cryptos, I exit 50% on the way up. And some of them in this bull run, I'm going to get rid of them. Like I have a ton of coins that I thought I was going to get rich quick on until I matured and gained wisdom and stopped following hype trains. And there's going to be a bunch that I'm going to close out. If you're in my academy, I'll notify you. Into the top 3, okay? So when I sell on the way up, we ladder out using Merlin. I ladder because you're not going to catch the top. Listen to me. You're not going to catch the top. Everybody thinks they're the most talented trader in the world. You're not going to catch the top. You're not going to catch the bottom. So we ladder out at targets on the way up. Boom. As everybody's freaking out trying to catch top, I've exited. Boom, 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 boom. Profits. Okay. Everybody's so scared of capital gains. I'm not scared of capital gains. You know why? Because I'm crushing the hurdle rate. And I'll explain. So I pull profits. Now everybody's different. I'm in long-term capital gains with most of my crypto. You might be in short-term under 12 months. So you can hold if there's no problem with that. But I'm just telling you exactly what I do. I pull profits. Then I go into protection. I use cash value life insurance. I absolutely love it so much. I created my own insurance firm because they were these things were not being structured properly. They weren't being explained properly. And so we created our own ecosystem because we use these properly. Okay. They're not retirement policies. They're insurance policies. There's the cost of insurance. Everybody talks about, well, there's cost of insurance. Do you understand how badass these things are if you use them properly? Imagine putting something into something. Imagine taking your profit and insuring your money. You insure your car, you insure your house, you insure your life, but nobody insures their money. So we actually put insurance on our crypto profits. What? Yeah, it's insured. So when you have a flash crash, my principal's guaranteed. Yes, to have the cost of insurance because I have a death benefit on there. If something happens to me, my family is Gucci, man. They are taken care of. Gucci. They are taken care of, right? So my family's protected like a man should. My family's protected with tons of life insurance. I got the cost of insurance, but some of that is going into my cash value. Then I have tax code 77028. There's not retirement policies. You can borrow against them tax free to beat the hurdle rate. So imagine going to your own bank instead of storing your money in a bank account where they're doing the same thing I'm doing with my money, lending it out, putting it out in the capital markets. That's what banks do. They make money in interest income, fee income, and capital markets income. So we're making interest income, fee income, and we're going out there and making money in the capital markets income. Okay. So hopefully this is making sense. I feel like I'm just rambling, but stuff my profits into cash value life insurance. Once those are max funded, now I have access to the cash value to borrow from the insurance company tax free. Imagine borrowing 100 grand at 5%. Do the math. What is that? That's $5,000. You need to learn inflation and beat the hurdle rate. At 5%, $5,000 on $100,000. And if I could take $100,000, right? You know, in the first year, it's like 60%. You can lend 70%, but we've built up, right? So say you can borrow 60,000 off your 100,000 and you take that 60,000 and you put it into Bitcoin that grows 50% every year. You borrowed at 5 from the insurance company. And now you buy Bitcoin that grows 50% every single year. What's your hurdle rate? You're crushing the hurdle rate by 45%. So now you have a dollar that was in crypto that became $2. You pull profits off. If you're in short-term capital gains, okay, you got some short-term capital gains. Okay, you pay your capital gains, you put it into insurance. You leverage your insurance at 5%. You buy an asset that grows 50% every year. You're crushing the hurdle rate. And now your dollar became $3. And you have protection on this side. And if you want to get really good with it, you start buying cash generating dividends that pay off the loan. You mix it. That's what we're doing. And then you have L, leverage. Well, that was the leverage part, right? Be very careful. Leverage is like a match. In the right hands, it'll warm your home. In the wrong hands, it'll burn the whole effing house down. Hence, the flash crash. You're not Michael Saylor, okay? We're not going out there and try. You don't leverage your crypto unless you know what you are doing. Do not do leverage trading. They give you 100x leverage because they know you're going to lose. The casino gives you free drinks and free rooms because they know you're going to lose. Don't play games with your money. So when you hear me talking about leveraging my Bitcoin, I'll explain. The loan's already paid off. The only asset I leverage will be Bitcoin for now. I did it on a DeFi platform. I only leveraged 25% of my overall Bitcoin portfolio. Then I put it on a DeFi platform. Of the 25%, they're only giving me 70% LTV of the 25%. I bought my insurance brokerage. The only reason I did it with Bitcoin is because it was paying it off. It was already cash flowing. It's paid off. It's done. We thought it was going to be till April. We paid it off. It's gone. It's done. We paid it off. So as the market is going up and down, we're paying it down as quick as possible. But it's only 25% of my overall portfolio that is being LTV at 70%. So there's a 30% gap there. So I have all this protection. So no flash crash is going to take me out. On the insurance side, you can leverage as much as you want. You don't have to pay it back. It comes off your death benefit. I recommend paying it back because what it does, it creates more cash flow. And then you have de-risk, DR. So it's cash flow, capital DR, cash flow, appreciating assets, protection, leverage, de-risk, 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 de-risk. Okay. As soon as I can, if I'm in something that makes me a large amount of money, like my dividend strategies, I de-risk out as fast as I can. I extract cash flow and I put it into Bitcoin and XRP. That's what I do. So that's my plan, and I'm sticking to it, and it works really, really well. It's freed my family financially. We have quite a bit of cash flow coming in. We continue to expand our ecosystems. I'm going to be consolidating over the next 9 years. I'm not going to be opening more businesses. I've gotten a lot of offers buying businesses and things like that. I'm starting to kind of land the plane. I'm going to be shifting into a Warren Buffett style investing, dividends. I'm going to be buying into dividend stocks that pay me for doing nothing. I'm going to transmute that cash into deflationary assets, protection, and I'm going to build an ecosystem where I could be on my ranch in the next 10 years. It's already visioned out. Everything's ready to go with my grandkids and enjoying my life and probably writing books and traveling around the world and teaching this type of stuff. I love teaching this. I love teaching microeconomics. I love teaching finance. I love helping people rewire their brain. I love working to, my goal is to get the 1% to the 5%. I know I can do it. Because this is all about financial literacy, guys. So I hope you've come this far. If you've come this far, a comment warrior. If you come this far, I need to share with you a warning. I do not invest people's crypto. I'm not reaching out to you proactively about your crypto. Okay. People are faking driver's license, weird shit, man. That is not me on WhatsApp, not me on Telegram. I do not use those apps. Okay. I do not communicate with you. We don't have an investment platform. We are educators. We have a 3T Warrior Academy. It's an education academy. We teach our capital DR strategy. We teach cryptocurrency education. We have over 13,000 people worldwide since 2020, 3,000 active people on a daily basis. It's the largest crypto community in the world. If you click down below, you can join the academy, or if you click my social media platform, you'll click the link. Keeps you safe, keeps you inside. We'll never reach out to you proactively about your crypto. Don't send anybody your money anywhere. No influencer is going to reach out to you and say, hey, how's your crypto doing? Hey, we'll help you invest. That's if they are, they're scammers. Okay. So be very, very careful. 3twarrioracademy.com, or click the description of the video down below. You can actually set up a call with my team too, a free call to a discovery call. In my social media platform, you'll see the links. Just want to keep you guys safe. I love you guys. I appreciate you. As we always say, warriors, rise, get your shit together.